everybody. My name is Melissa Creamer. I am one of the co-authors of the Spanish IPA packs on Teachers Discovery, as well as one of the co-authors for the El Mundo Hispanohablante thematic units. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how you can use these products to teach digitally from home. I'm in Northeast Ohio, and I am teaching from my home classroom now, which is my dining room. And we are 1 week into home instruction. We are currently on spring break and will return back to home instruction next Monday. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that I have been doing and that you can also do with the IPA packs and the thematic unit packs. As you can see, I am currently on my Google Drive, and I will show you some of the resources that I am using, as well as a few websites that I am using. I am working with this thematic unit. It is the El Mundo Hispanohablante unit for food, and here it is. And some of the ways that you can use this unit, probably one of the easiest ways to continue using your units at home is by uploading the activities via PDF to a Google Classroom. We use Chromebooks, so we use Google, and all of my kids are enrolled in a Google Classroom. So what I do is I share the materials with them via Google Classroom. A tip, though, for doing that is to not necessarily give them the whole PDF at one time because the answer keys are included. So what I do is I choose the page that I want to share with them. And then when I go to the print feature, I save that page as a PDF. So if I only want them to see page 13, then I will go to custom and I will choose page 13. And then that way they only see page 13 of the unit. So, be careful because the page numbers obviously are different than the page numbers of the actual document because there are instructional documents ahead of time. So this is actually page 4, but you just double check your page numbers before you save the PDF. And then that way you can share one PDF with them at a time. They don't work ahead. They don't print and try to use pages that they don't actually need. So that's probably the easiest way to provide them the materials. Once you upload the PDF to Google, they can print it at home. They can fill out the activity. And then if they do have a scanner at home, they can scan it to you. I've also been allowing my kids to take a photo of it and then upload the photo to Google Drive to turn it back in. If your students don't have the feature to actually print the activity, you can still upload the PDF, and then you can share with them an answer sheet, just a very generic answer sheet. This is one that I made for the El Plato del Buen Comer activity that's on the packet page 13 for them to do keyword recognition. I would provide them the PDF of the product. This is the authentic resource. So I would provide them this PDF in Google Classroom, and then I would have them do the keyword section by typing their answers here. So they would have this PDF. They would also have the PDF from the packet. It's actually the page that I'm referring to is page 13. Let's scroll down here so you can see it. It looks like this. It's actually page 22. So that now that your students have the PDF open, and they also have the PDF of the keyword recognition open, they can go to the Google Doc and they can type their answers. You can see that they're working. You can see that they're keeping up with the assignments. You can either choose to grade them or give them the answer key so they can double check their answers. If you're looking for something that's easier to grade, You can take the activity and turn it into a Google form. This is one that I made for the keyword section as an example of what you can do for a Google form. I took each of the keywords and put them in. I made them required, and then I also made them short answer. I put the correct answer using the feature over here. I clicked on here and I chose the response feature. I chose text. Their text should contain the word herramienta. An alternate answer would have been una herramienta because the pronoun, or I'm sorry, the article was in front of the noun in the article. And then here's another example of one for practical and simple. Again, I chose for that to be a text that would contain, the words práctica y sencilla. A tip that I have is you might want to ask them to add this Chrome extension. It's called Special Characters. It allows them to copy and paste easily the Spanish characters so that they can incorporate them into their answers. And then they can turn this Google form in. It will automatically grade. You don't have to grade it. And then you can either give them a grade in the grade book or you can use it as feedback for them. So just another way that you can handle the reading activities in the IPAs or the thematic units. Okay, so some other options you have for the IPA and thematic unit activities is to do listening activities. And again, you can upload the video to Google Classroom and then upload the PDF of the document. So for example, if you wanted them to do this El Plato del Buen Comer listening, you could upload the PDF for this keyword recognition activity, have them complete it, take a photo of it to turn it in Google Classroom, or again, they could scan the sheet that they've completed. That's if they have the ability to print it. Or you can again give them a Google Doc answer sheet for them to fill in. So for example, this one would coordinate with that keyword recognition activity. All I did was insert a chart and put the headers in the chart, and they could type their 3 answers here. And then I can ask them to submit this as their evidence of completing the activity. Or, you can give them a couple of options. Instead of actually giving them the activity, you could just share the video and ask them to make a list of what they think are 5 keywords or 10 keywords, depending on the level that you teach. If you want to add a little bit more accountability on the activity, once they type the word, you can also ask them to type the time that they hear the word in the video to make them a little more accountable for it. So you do have a few options there with listening activities. Another thing you can do is, for example, for this packet that I've been referring to, there is a section on supporting details. If you wanted to, you could turn this supporting details section into a Google form and make it a multiple choice. So this would be the supporting detail. They would have the video, they would be listening for the frutas y verduras section, and then they would be marking the benefits that are mentioned in the video underneath this section of the video called frutas y verduras, and then they could just mark their answers and then turn the Google form in. So that's another way that you can hold them accountable for the work if it is a listening activity. So some of the other activities that you can do beyond just the keyword and supporting details is you can continue to do the vocabulary activities. For example, this one, which requires them to draw and label in Spanish the items that they would choose to include on their plate, their ideal plate of food based on the El Plato del Buen Comer video and infographic. So again, you have the option of providing students with this PDF by using the print feature and making sure that, again, you're just printing it as a PDF, downloading it to your computer, and then uploading it in Google Classroom. Once they get the assignment in Google Classroom, they can either print it and draw on the actual document, and then they can take a photo of it and upload it back. They can scan it to upload it, or you can give them the option of just drawing their own plate on their own sheet of paper and taking a photo of it and uploading it for you. Or you can also give them the option of creating something on a Google Doc and uploading it. So again, just being flexible under the circumstances. If you want to do the speaking activity that goes along with this, you have a few options as well. Oops, sorry. If you see here, activity number 4 is interpersonal speaking, and they're asked to present their plate to a partner. Obviously, this is a little bit harder for them to do under the circumstances since they're at home, but you could have them do this and present their plate to you as a presentational speaking. They could make a video on their phone and then upload the video to the assignment in Google Classroom. I've had my students do that recently with a presentational speaking that we were working on. Another thing you can do is use a website like Flipgrid and give this to them as an assignment in Flipgrid and have them record a video of them showing you their plate and what's on their plate, explaining why they put it on there. You could also turn it into a presentational writing. So once they download this and they do the activity, they could actually write on here, or they can do it on a Google Doc. And then upload that back to you for accountability. So again, the activities are there, the ideas are there, but we just have to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more flexible with the activities. The benefit of having the IPAs or the thematic units is that we've already found the resources for you. We've already written questions for you. You can skip those parts of creating activities, but then just spend a little bit extra time making them a little bit more creative and flexible to hold students accountable and show that they are doing the work. So hopefully some of these options will work for you. Just a couple more ideas using the IPA activities and the thematic unit activities and some additional outside websites. I take the keywords from the activities. So for example, I would take these keywords and I would put them into a Quizlet set. And then each time they do another keyword recognition activity or a guessing meaning from context activity, I add those words to the Quizlet set until I have a complete set of words from the unit. And the students can practice the keyword recognition words each time I add them to the Quizlet. So for example, right now my students are working on a unit on Las Fallas that I am in the process of creating. So I have them working with some terms from an authentic site called Diccionario Fallero. And so each time they do a different activity, I add the terms to this Quizlet set. And then once I have a full set, I can turn it into a kit on GimKit and use that for an interactive game. Just another note on Quizlet. Right now, they're offering the Quizlet Pro a 30-day free trial. So if you want to be able to hold them accountable and make sure that they are doing the activities and see their scores, you can use the upgraded feature of Quizlet Pro, which allows you then to track their work. for the GimKit site, my kids love this site. And what I'm planning to do is just give them a time and say, everybody who's available can play and compete with each other. And then I'll send out the code and we'll do a game together to practice all of the vocabulary for our unit that's on Las Fallas de Valencia. And GimKit will allow you to make 5 free kits before you have to purchase a membership. So that is another way that you can take the vocab and the guessing meaning from context words to reinforce the meaning of those words. And then another website that I'm using is Edpuzzle. Right now, Edpuzzle Pro is free as long as you register your school. So here's one that I made on Las Fallas, and this is where you can take the videos from your IPA packet or from your thematic unit, and you can upload them into Edpuzzle, and then you can add the questions along to the video so that the questions will pop up on the screen. And then the nice thing is that it does give you their results. It holds them accountable. It shows you that they watched the video. It tells you how long they spent watching the video, and it gives you their score on the question. So it does take a little bit of time, but the good thing is that you already have the video. You can upload it. You already have the keywords. You already have the details. So you can turn the details into true-false statements and ask if they heard them. You can have the keyword come up and you can make it multiple choice. When they hear the keyword, what do you think it means? So you do have some options using the keywords and the details, or even the guessing meaning from context. You could have the guessing meaning from context word pop up with 3 or 4 choices and have them guess what they think the word means based on what they're seeing and hearing in the video. So this is another option for a way to use the videos that are already in the IPA units and thematic units. Just a couple closing thoughts. Again, I do recommend having them add this Chrome extension, the special characters extension, so that they can type foreign language characters. And then the last piece of advice, obviously, is letting them know that when they are doing these activities, especially the keyword activities, that the words that they are putting on their answer sheets do need to come from the resources themselves, that they should not be using online translators or dictionaries, because those online translators and dictionaries may not give them the word that is used in the authentic piece. So again, just holding them accountable, making sure that they're doing their own work for these activities. One more website that I'm using is the quizzes website. This is also free to use, and what you can do is you could do a search for your topic. So for example, you are doing the thematic unit on food. You can do a search to see what activities are already out there that are already made, and you can take a look at them and see if it would reinforce anything from our thematic unit. Or you can create your own. So for example, I created one here for my students to do based on our Fallas de Valencia unit. This is a song that they listened to called Valencia está en Fallas. And then I created questions that they answered, multiple choice questions. And you can assign this to them to do while they're doing the activity or after they do the activity. You can do this live or assign as homework, or they can do solo practice. So these are some options that you have as well for extra activities to reinforce the content of the IPA pack or thematic unit. Lastly, I hope these tips are helpful to you and that you are able to use some of these with your students. Just also wanted to say that you can extend any of these activities by being flexible. So for example, if you shared with them the video for El Plato del Buen Comer and you had them do this keyword recognition activity, afterwards you could extend the activity by asking them to tell you 5 facts that they learned from the video, instead of doing the supporting details section. So there's always a way to expand these a little bit further so that you can use the unit for a longer period of time or spend some time just reinforcing the vocabulary. Again, I hope these are helpful to you and that you're able to incorporate some of them from our IPAs and from our units. And I wish everybody the best of luck with their new endeavors in online teaching and digital learning. Take care and stay safe.